Yo, what's good? It's your boy Wall Street Ray tapping in live for another weekly outlook. This one will be pretty quick. With it being, Labor Day weekend and stuff, I got a couple things I got to do personally. So, that's why this is being pre-recorded this time. It's not live. It's not long drawn out. It's going to be quick, short to the point. And, obviously I'm still considering whether or not I'm even going to trade tomorrow with it actually being Labor Day. But I still want to come on here, touch base, and pay attention to some of the main things that we need to look at from a trading perspective, right? So first things first, let's just go ahead and take a look, at the weekly news. I don't really let news play a determining factor in my decision making, but it does just give me a time frame in which I should expect a lot more volatility, right? So we do have PMI on Tuesday. Obviously, no news tomorrow with it being a bank holiday. So I'm not expecting a lot of volatility tomorrow, but we do have PMI on Tuesday. All right, jobs openings, pretty important red folder on Wednesday. Obviously, CPI, non-farm payroll change, unemployment claims, and services PMI on Thursday. And then obviously NFP, right? Official NFP on Friday. Obviously unemployment rate, average hourly earnings, like a lot of things that have a direct influence on the financial markets, right? So I'm excited about this week. A lot of people shy away from NFP week, but me personally, I'm looking forward to, seeing some things shake. I'm looking forward to, seeing the markets make some solid moves. All right. So first things first, right? Just starting off with my baby, Nas, right? As I just take a look at it, obviously the market is bullish, right? Market has been very, very bullish as of late, making lots of moves, lots of strides to the upside. And now I'm just kind of trying to see where I see the market going overall, right? Obviously here the market ended here last week, okay? And as the market ended here, I am curious just to see what'll happen, right? Tomorrow could be a lot of consolidation, accumulation, early buyers and stuff like that. I would not be surprised, okay, to see something along these lines happen for Tuesday, right? Just consolidate throughout Monday, not expecting a lot of moves to take place tomorrow, but sometime going into Tuesday, I would not be surprised to see us actually push down, clear out this low. All right, once we clear out this low, I'd like to see us, return to the upside, right? And return bullish, right? So just with that, that is something that I'm personally expecting from the markets. I feel like this is generating liquidity down here. So just with that, and I was considering maybe even taking a trade from here. I actually did to end the week. I did take a trade here. Thought the market would push up a lot higher. Ended up closing most of the positions, like in this range here. So I did get like a little small move. At the time, I was expecting the market to go up like a little more aggressively, but just seeing how it consolidated, in my opinion, I feel like it's setting up for one more push to the downside. All right. And then that spring to the upside, right? Because if the market was ready to go bullish now, I feel like it would have went, right? If I see the market spending too much time in an area, I'm leaning more towards another push to the downside. All right. So that's what I'm expecting there. I feel like this will likely be a trap, right? Some people may consider this, heavy crossover. Maybe that's an area of supply. Maybe this is an area of internal liquidity. A lot of maybes, but when I look at the price action altogether, I feel like, this low could definitely be a little stronger. So considering that this low is, I have questions about it, right? Obviously, I do see internal liquidity here. So, I mean, that's a good thing, but I do have questions about that low. So considering that I do have questions about it, I'm gonna just look underneath it, right? And see the liquidity underneath it. we come play into this region right here, and I think we can return back to the upside from there. All right. So I feel like a couple things can happen. Maybe we get a sell opportunity. Maybe the market comes up and decides to push back down. But I feel like the safest move would be to just wait for, this low here and this low here to get cleared out. And once they both get cleared out, start taking longs. All right. Let's keep going. Okay, GBP USD. All right. So we did take a sell here. Got a nice move, partialed out a little bit here, partialed out a little bit down here. And ironically, the market reversed right after I secured most of my profits. So I'm glad that I did that. But now that the market is happening to push bullish again, I'm kind of curious to see what we're gonna get. In this instance, I do feel like it is likely that we'll take out this high here. All right, I do believe that's likely. I feel like there's ample liquidity resting above this high, and I feel like we should definitely come and target these highs up here. All right. So, we have internal liquidity resting up here. We have a high area of supply up there, and we have a high here that could be a trap, right? Now, I took this sell initially because I wanted this low to get hit, if I'm being completely honest. But considering how the market rebounded, I wouldn't be surprised to see this high get taken. Now, at the same time, right? Obviously, you got to be able to adjust. I know I'm saying the market could go bullish. However, I do just want to be aware of this impulsive move here, right? This impulsive move here doesn't really have a hesitant. All right. So either we're going to just continue bullish to this supply zone up here, or the market could very well set something up here and just drop one last time. All right. Maybe the market just wants to come tap this area one last time, or even clear this high one last time and then drop to get this low, if we're still going to get this low. Now, I get it. These are two very different, scenarios. But again, it's more about timing as well as, the move itself. So, maybe this happens. Maybe we get the sell and, you just have to time it perfectly. Are we going into London session? Are we going into New York session? Or is it just the middle of the day? Where the market should be seeking an area of liquidity. So these are the different types of questions you're gonna have to ask yourself to know which setup you should take. And then on top of that, you might lose, and that's okay. When we have good risk to reward, understand that a loss here or there it should never completely take you out the game. All right. So again, two, slightly different approaches. Approach one is I feel like the market could probably come up here, or I feel like we may come here and drop, or we may come here and drop, right? Those are pretty much my options though, right? So I feel like the market could either come and take these highs and drop, it could push into this supply area and drop, or it may just stay within this range here between this high and this low and drop because we have an impulse with no hesi. And an impulse with no hesi, in my opinion, a lot of times it's still a target. So even though the market is coming back bullish, I do feel like it has a good chance to come back bearish and find these lows. All right. So pretty interesting. I feel like this would definitely be a pair that you want to wait Monday out. Monday, let it build liquidity, let it create a little more price action, and it'll probably give us a little more clear approach on what we should do. All right. So Euro USD, similar, right? Very, very similar in the approach that I do believe somehow we could probably get down to 1.1515, all right, 1.1515. So, when I see this, obviously, we did clear lows here, right? So I do see that. And it created a nice bullish move. There's a lot of money to be made right there. But do I believe that this low here is going to send the market way up there? Not necessarily. So if I don't think that's going to happen. The only other choice is for the opposite to happen, is for the market to find a way to start going lower, right? Now, if we look over here, we do have an area of supply, okay, over to the left. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the market. I wouldn't be surprised to see the market just push a little more bullish, push back into that area of supply, maybe clear out that previous high right there, and then drop. Okay. So look for this liquidity right here to get swept. And then from there, I wouldn't be surprised to see the market start pushing down again. Right. So keep your eyes on that. Again, tomorrow will probably just create liquidity. We got a little low here. Maybe the market comes down and respects something here. But ultimately, I do feel like these lows are going to be taken again before it's all said and done. I don't see them being long term, strong lows. I feel like it's just a short term, bullish uptrend, short term. And then I feel like we'll get another continuation to the downside. All right. So EU, GU, very similar in my book. Gold, very, very bullish, right? I was anticipating taking this trade, but as I saw how aggressive the market was pushing, I was like, I'm pretty good on that. But yeah, I mean, we're back in that bullish territory when it comes to, gold. I got myself in trouble a couple of times trying to sell. I don't feel like we're really in seller territory right now. 3,500, I feel like it's coming. So even if we get a sale, I do feel like it'll be to make a higher low, probably somewhere within this range and then continue bullish. I feel like gold, as much as you can rely on technicals, it's a lot of fundamentals that play a role in it. And when you look at the fact that we should be expecting interest rate cuts, this month, or I should say next month, is still August, but tomorrow is the first, and we should be expecting rate cuts in September. And when they turn on the printing machine, a lot of assets go up, like gold, Bitcoin, etc. So, as crypto has been dipping, I feel like it's a good time to buy. You want to buy before, interest rates drop. And then when so far as gold just started to fly immediately once, the speculation dropped that, interest rates could drop. So I don't see a lot from a technical perspective here other than 3,500. It's not a lot of structure to go off of. It's really just one of those things where you probably have to come to the lower time frame and try to find some sort of continuation pattern. But yeah, gold is definitely very, very bullish. If we can get a decent drop, that'll be great. I would love to personally see the market try to find its way back down here. That would be great. Will it happen? I'm not sure, right? I'm just honestly just not sure. It's hard selling against all of this bullish pressure. That's just me being real optimistic. I would love to buy down here personally, but that's no guarantee. That's a far way to drop. Like it is, but it ain't. Gold is very volatile, so it can happen. And if it does happen, I'll most definitely be buying around, 33.65 area. All right. But if we never get that low, we'll just try to find continuation somewhere, somehow. All right. All right. So far as Bitcoin is concerned, I told y'all when the market first cleared these highs that these lows would be a target, right? So it's been a bearish couple weeks for Bitcoin. I do feel like it's gonna start to, accumulate orders yet again and, start trying to head to the upside. Now, whether that happens here or here, I wouldn't be surprised to see us, come down to 105, right? The 105, 104 area before we continue back up. That would not surprise me one bit. I'm actually very open to that. Um, I do see heavy crossover type patterns here where we react off of supply, we create a low, then we make new highs. I do feel like this would be a really good buying opportunity down here. All right. But again, if the market starts to turn around sooner than that, so be it. I mean, it's not the end of the world. These pairs don't just move in straight lines, right? This is just nothing but a higher low being put in. We know we're definitely bullish on Bitcoin, we're bullish on all cryptos, really. So any drop should just be another buy opportunity. So, don't get scared out of your position, right? Like I've been seeing massive swings in my portfolio. I've been seeing, every day I wake up, it's like down another percent or two. And I'm just like, ah, here we go. But, you just gotta, again, trust the process. Understand that this is just probably a higher low that's going to be made in the market around 105, 104 area, 103, like this little pocket right here. I do feel like that'll be the area where we turn around, right? XRP, I mean, same thing, guys. As long as they're pushing down, this is when you want to take advantage of it, right? When it's making new highs, it's already a little too late. You know what I mean? Obviously, Ethereum has been super strong in spite of a lot of the other pairs dropping. Ethereum did make new all-time highs. We're just on the cusp of hitting 5,000, right? So, we broke all-time highs. A lot of people probably sold and took profit. That's the reason for the short-term drop, but I do believe this will continue looking for like 7,200 to end the year, or maybe even like 8,000 to 10,000. But I at least feel like 72, 7,500 is probably in sight for the next, couple months, right? Um, XLM, another important coin similar to XRP. Like I said, it's down. Try to start finding your way in now. Don't wait for it to make all-time highs to buy, right? Solana is down. Make sure you get some, right? We still got another 40% just to get back to all-time high, another 45%. That's a really good, gainer in terms of it being a large cap coin, a high value coin that still has a lot of upside. Definitely make sure you guys are stacking up Solana as well. All right. So overall, guys, like I said, I didn't want to do a super phone call. Just wanted to come on here and give you guys a little bit of insight, a little outlook on the main pairs that I pay attention to. Pretty much is NAS, GU, EU, and gold. Obviously, there's a lot more that we could trade, but if you're gonna do that, go ahead and just mark them up yourself, or utilizing concepts, good risk management, all of that stuff. These days, I do like to kind of focus just on what it is that I'm trading, because it does allow me to be a little more focused, and um, allows me not to only just be more focused, but have a better plan to structure my day around. When I wake up and there's five different potential trades I could take, that tends to affect my psychology, my risk management plan, and a lot of other things. So, me cutting back is a way for me to be a little more disciplined, a little more structured in my trading approach. And I feel like it's been going great. We've been crushing the markets. Live trading has been phenomenal. Everything has been going in the right direction. So remember, sometimes less is more, especially when it comes to trading, guys. And other than that, that's pretty much all I have. All right. So I do appreciate you guys just for tuning into the call. Really enjoyed it. Obviously, like I said, it's a quicker call, but again, enjoy your holiday weekend. 3-day weekend for y'all that's working, or for y'all that have Labor Day off. Enjoy it. Like I said, I'll probably not take any trades tomorrow, just unless something is just looks too good to pass up on. But other than that, more than likely, we'll probably be back on the charts Tuesday morning. All right. So I do appreciate y'all. Go ahead. This call will be uploaded to YouTube, and you guys can definitely rewatch and kind of get my outlook. All right. See you on the next one. Peace.